on. You guys don't
Oh man,
understand.
are you kidding? That's a staple for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's great to meet you. I'd like to begin our conversation before we get into your world of being an entrepreneur. Today, kind of officially today, we're hitting that 4-year anniversary mark of the pandemic. How did you get through the pandemic and how did it change you?
We had a we have me and my partner have a couple other marketing companies, and we self-defense tactical and nutraceutical companies that we sell stuff online and stuff. And we did very well. A lot of people were home shopping online, so we did very well. But as far as myself, it went as good as it could be. I was in Florida, so we really didn't notice a big brouhaha, only for like a couple months, and after that it was really back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it Florida rolled different than anybody else, though. I mean, there was a whole different
Yeah.
vibe going on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, everything was open. I mean, they had the mask thing, but people in Florida, good or bad, they didn't really acknowledge it, and we didn't wear them. We
yeah.
just went about our daily lives. And it's funny because I travel. We were out of Puerto Rico too, so I went down to Puerto Rico, and I was down there and I'm going on the beach, and some guy comes up and he's like, "You have to wear a mask." I go, "I'm on the beach," and he's like, "You need to wear a mask."
That's
So
the
it was
thing.
tough there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in LA, it was like they closed beaches down. It's like you're outside. I mean, there's got to be a level of
Yeah.
immunity, you know?
Yeah, 6 feet. It's 6 feet's the real inside, and when you're on a beach with a wet breeze blowing, I'm thinking you're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Are you kidding? So let's get to the heart and soul of what you do for a living as the CEO and co-founder of Search Tires. If I put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day, one of the kids
Mhm.
is curious and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
I tell them I'm a tire matchmaker. I match people that want to buy tires to retailers that want to sell a tire. That's all I do. I
Okay.
don't charge anything for my services. You just go to my site, you put in your make and model. It shows you all the price in your town. You pick your retailer. You click to call, click to go to the website, or click to go to their click directions to their place. That's it. That's all I do.
Wow.
That's simple.
So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
I always like to work on cars, and I actually lived my dream. I thought I did, and I did, and then I moved up in the ranks and became C-suite and stuff like that. But I've never been far away from, when you grow up in the Midwest, like, you're familiar with the thing. We're all about community, little league teams, and just that stuff just doesn't enamor me. I'm not like a materialistic kind of guy. I'm more friends and family, and let's just relax and have a good time, man. We worked all day. Let's sit out
Exactly.
front, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, let's go back to your childhood and how these seeds of being an entrepreneur and how things evolved into your pursuit of this venture. I mean, that's a pretty big deal to match people up with the right product that they're looking for. How did all of this evolve into who you are today?
well, the biggest thing that that aha moment when you're something different. So my dad was an engineer for IBM. Went to work every day with a suit, and at the time, it's like my dad didn't speak much. He's engineer. My mom was more of the speaking type, but my dad led through action. He was like, you seen him get up every day and go to work. I'd never seen that man miss a day of work in his life. So, and every summer we went on vacation. We always had a family vacation, all of us in a van driving to some other state. Well, we drove to California, uh, LA. My oldest brother was in Camp Pendleton, I think, in the Marines.
Yeah.
So we drove out there, and we stopped at the Grand Canyon on the way because my dad, had it all planned. How we always thought he's an engineer, so everything's planned.
Oh yeah,
so,
absolutely.
so it's all structured. How many miles a day? Hotels already booked. So
Yeah.
we stopped at the Grand Canyon, and my dad bought me these. It's like a bag of rocks. I think he
Yeah.
paid like $1.50, like the jade rocks, and they're all different, cool. They're polished and stuff like that. And I remember when we got home, I was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to get I want to get this cool bike." There was this new Murray bike that come out with these big like chrome wheels on it, and
Oh
it
yeah.
looked cool. And there's like an off-road bike, and I was like, "I want to get one." He's like, "Well, you know, your birthday's not around, and Christmas ain't around, so you'll just have to, mow grass, shovel snow. You know what, Midwestern things we do." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm sitting there one day, and I really wanted it, so I took these rocks and I started going to the neighbor's house, and I said, "Hey, we just got these from the Grand Canyon. These rocks are really, really nice." And I started selling them to neighbors. It's like $1.50 a rock. I had this whole bag of rocks, and I like picked the one out, and I went door to door, and I ended up out of that $1.50 bag, I think, gotta remember this is 1978. I think I got like $80 for that
Wow.
$1.50 bag of rocks. And I didn't know at the time what I was or what I wasn't. I just knew, hey, I wanted to get a bike. The so the path to it was selling these rocks
Yeah.
and getting the money, and the byproduct is my bike. so
Yeah.
so now fast forward, when I turned 16, 17, well, actually, when I was 12, 13, I was on motorcycles and doing all that kind of stuff and started working on motors and cars and stuff and just loved it. And so I went in, I was an ASE master tech at 19. Had a couple good mentors. That's always important. Back then people mentored people. Today, that's really a lost art. But I moved up to having that. And then I was 23, owned my own shop, exited at 26, had a good exit. Uh, Started another shop and then had that until I was like 32, exited, and then I went to work corporate America, did that for 12 years, and did really well. I started working as a tech service manager, um, store manager, area manager, regional manager, divisional vice president. So worked right up the ranks of that. Because I think one of the key things is I believe in my life that being from Midwestern values, everything's 100% about people, and it's your journey, right? It's like I understand how it feels to sweep floors and empty garbages. I've done it, and when I would go into stores, I would always emphasize on, "Hey, let me help out." I would empty garbage. People say, "You don't have to do that." And I go, "I don't have to. I can empty a garbage can. I'm just like you. We
Yeah.
just have different roles."
Yeah.
So work their counters and do that, and then I seen a gap. This come to fruition in 2009. I know they say it's like an overnight success. Not really. 2009, I saw a gap. Like Kayak was out, and then Tire Rack come out, and they're trying to sell tires online. I'm like, these people are going to take the market share from the brick and mortar people that hire the local people, support the local little league teams. They're going to take market share from them and turn them into installers when they have all this overhead. And the e-tailers, I call them, don't have any of that. They just have logistics and shipping tires to the store and taking the big chunk of the purchase, right? So my goal was like, I seen it, I put it together. Hey, I'm not the smartest guy in the shop, but I'll tell you what I can do is I know how to build a team of the best people around me.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a room and I'm the smartest guy, we're gonna have a problem. We need to have, and I'm not saying I'm dumb. I'm just saying I know how to surround myself with the best resources to get my vision onto the field.
Yeah.
And that's what I've really did. My partner's great. Been working with him since 2005. We've been doing stuff together, and then the team we built around us. We get the best people, and we put a good product out there on the field. Now we're in the middle of building a new iteration for it. It is phenomenal because we did a test, and the test was so good. We're like, wow, we need to build it and make it much better now. So we went ahead and we did that, and then in probably 6 weeks from now, it'll be out, and it'll just open the gateway to so many other things for consumers to be able to see how they can get the best price. And not only do we give the best price, we show them mounted balance, tax, disposal, out the door prices. We don't give them, because a lot of times it's a misconception. They buy them at an e-tailer and they get shipped to the store, and then they get the store. They're there to get tires put on. They're like, hey, it's going to cost you $150. We got a mount balance and TPMS. And they're like, huh, what? They just miss that part of it. So I want to make sure that we give them the tools they need to understand exactly what that looks like,
Yeah.
and get them into brick and mortar that again supports local communities. I'm all about. We're a nationwide company that's locally. We're in every local
Yeah.
place because that's who we want to help is
Sure.
local businesses. Yeah,
So who's been a hero? Who's been an inspiration for you in your life?
my dad, my dad and my mom both. And it's funny. Everybody has these like hero things, and I always say I never want to disappoint people about the hero thing, but I'm not really into like I'm a pretty simple guy. I see my dad, and you don't notice it when you're growing up. You're kind of embarrassed, your dad, that stuff. But when you get older and you look back and you're like, wow, that man got up every day and went to work to give us what he never had. My
Yeah.
dad was in 14 different high schools when he was a school. He worked his way to be an IBM engineer and have patents on some great products that they put out. So he got
Wow.
to the top of his field through hard work. And he didn't talk about it. You would never know, but he just lived it, and you just seen it every day. And I could say to anybody, it's just that's execution, right?
Yeah. For sure. For sure. So speaking of that entrepreneurial spirit, if you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you admire, that you look up to, who would it be? Who would you love to meet and spend a little time with?
Wow, tough question. There's so many out there that I would love to, love to
Yeah.
meet and talk to. Uh, I would probably, God, it's so cliche to say some of the ones I'm thinking of right now, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to go back to cliche. I'd probably say Henry Ford.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fascinating. So what is your motivation every day? What gets you out of bed? What gets you motivated to not only to do the work to help people, but to also evolve as a person yourself?
Well, I'll tell you this. I have this thing. I'm pretty structured, and I got my gift to talk to people from my mom, and I got my structure from my dad. So I'm a very lucky person, and I'm fortunate, and I'm thankful for everything I got. But I always had the saying, and you can't really put it out there a lot now because people really don't like to hear it. But and I had it as a tagline on my email for a while, and corporate America really didn't like it. But I believe processes work and people fail. It's that simple. It's That's the way it is. So how I set myself up every day, I have really the same process. I get up. This happens every day, each day, consistent practice. I get up and practice my craft. I want to know what's new. I keep myself updated, not just from one source, from multiple sources. Seek feedback, not just from people that I know that's going to say, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you want to get it from the people that have a little edge against you that hey, maybe aren't so happy, because that's too. Another thing is stay updated. I like to stay updated on my niche and stay in that line of what I do. I like to learn actively. I take an hour each day to learn, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about my field. It's just I want to learn something. It could just be random. It's just it's more arrows in your quiver, right? I mean, you just want to learn stuff just to keep that brain absorbing stuff. Also, multiple resources. Get them from, don't just read one. You got to read across the plethora, because there's so many, everything is so like propagandized now. You don't know if you're getting the right answer out of them. So I would say read all that stuff and then form your own opinion. And then the last three are easy. It's curiosity. Just stay curious in what you do. Stay organized. And the last thing I would say is stay inspired. I'm inspired. I get up and I love what I do. I'm fortunate to get to the path to have the other companies that provide me to be able to go out and do what I love every day. But um, just kind of be inspired. And my inspiration is really not what most people think. My inspiration is I like to help people and I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty simple like that. I just want
Yeah.
to, hey, this is how it is. And people say, oh no, it's about the money. And every I chased money once in my life, and I said I'll never do it again. It was a bad mistake, and it cost me about 3 years. And I say I concentrate every day, and I concentrate on my product. If I make the best product, the byproduct will be money. However, that has to start with that product and taking care of your consumers. If you do that right and put that on the field, the byproduct will always be, you know, more people on your site, which equals, revenue, which equals more people, revenue from advertisers and stuff. I mean, so not the consumers, but yeah,
I've always heard in the true entrepreneurial playbook, the best way to tackle anything when you come up with an idea is to solve a problem, and then everything
that's
else will
correct.
follow,
Yep.
you
And you
know?
think about it, I'm like I said, I'm pretty simple guy, but I'm thinking, think about this. When you're buying tires, tires are like number two behind paying taxes on pain in the butt for what people have to do. And people are amazed when I say that people don't have a site they could go to that shows all their local prices compared to
Yeah,
the next year. There. Why?
yeah, yeah. That's
I
weird.
mean, because the average tire purchase is over $700 right now.
Yeah.
That's a big clip.
Uh-huh.
And I save people on an average $100 on a set of four tires, $111 on a set of four tires,
Wow.
and some up to $300 on a set of four tires for the same tire. That's for same tire, same tire. Now, if they go to maybe another one that has a comparable warranty, but maybe step down, they could be saving $200 to $300 easily. You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
so, and that's a big deal in this day and age when you go to the store and it's $10 for a thing of bacon,
Yeah.
and we all love bacon.
Yeah, absolutely we
So,
do. We certainly do. So, let me ask you this, of all the things that you've done and become and evolved into, what are you the proudest of?
being a father,
Yeah.
having my son's 29 years old, super proud of my son. And I have interesting enough, we have a big age gap. I have a daughter that's a 1 year old.
Wow.
And, and, family will always be my number one thing. That's what it's all about.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I'm just a regular guy that has some good ideas, and I like to surround myself with good people to make my vision come to life because I can't do it on my own. A lot of people like to think stuff on their own, but without building the right team and people on my team that come on my team in the beginning, I give them all equity in the company. I want them to be part of something with me. I don't, I'm not that guy that's, I mean, everybody does stuff differently, right? I'm a giver like that, but I need to surround myself with the best people to put the best product out there. And that's important.
Yeah. So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've ever gotten. Wow. Um, I would say, uh, wow. So it's funny you should say that because when I worked in retail for corporate America, I always used to ask the older people when I drove them. I used to have to drive people home when they dropped their cars off, and I'd always ask all these people. And I'll say this, and a lot of people will connect with this. A lot of entrepreneurs, or even whatever it is, we have so many ideas floating through our head, and you know what? You can't do all of them. You just have to find your North Star, stay focused on that. And it's like every dreamer has a heart full of ideas, right? Just the strength doesn't lie in how many roads you see, but it's the one you choose. You have to stay true to it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing for me. Younger in my career, I was trying to do 4 or 5 things, and people will say to me, they'll contradict me, and they'll say, "Well, Elon Musk does all this," but you know what? Elon Musk didn't do all that. He had to have that one big win before everyone would let him do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just say that I would just caution everyone for that tale. He worked hard and he got where he at, and he's a hard worker. I believe that, but he had to win big once before these people. People with money are very smart about it. They're not just throwing their money at anybody. They
Yeah.
want a return on that. So,
For sure.
and yeah, yeah. So.
That's how they stay rich. So the website is searchtires.com. Anything related to your world, where's the best place for people to go if they want more?
Info@searchtires.com. I personally read all those emails and respond to them myself. I don't, as we go, we'll see how that goes, but I really like to keep I always finger on the heartbeat. I love to do that. And yeah, and for any entrepreneurs out there on your show or whatever it is, I'm always open to help people.
Okay.
I love it. I'm not a coach or anything like that, but if I could help people, because mentorship, like I said, it's a lost art, and these kids need help nowadays.
Yeah.
Because they listen to these people on YouTube and tell them they're going to make $10,000 a day without working hard. Well, let me tell you something. That's not true.
No, it's
You
not.
can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
But it's not work 15 minutes at home.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tim, this has been fascinating. What a cool cat, man. Thank you so much for your time and story. Best of luck with everything.
thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it, man. Appreciate your
Yes,
time.
sir. Thank you. Take care.